and welcome back to the New York Baseball Podcast. My name is Ari. I am sitting virtually alongside Noah. Noah, how's your day going so far?
Doing great. Had my first day of class today, but I'm very excited for this podcast and a very special guest we have.
Absolutely. Today we are interviewing Braves left-handed pitcher Tyler Matzek. A lot of you may know him for pitching in the NLCS this past year and a lot of different accolades along his really good career as well. Tyler, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. So my first question for you is going to be, obviously, with the 60-game season we just had go on, there's been a lot, there was obviously a lot of different preparation probably that went into it. So I wanted to ask you, what was it like having the delay of the season, getting started for the 60-game season, and what your preparation was like with like the sort of summer camp 2.0, if you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it was a little weird. Normal gyms weren't open. The high school that I was training at wasn't open. So fortunately, I had a buddy that had his own facility, his own gym, and he would let me get in there. And I was able to work out, and I built a mound inside his facility, threw my bullpens off of that, and was able to stay ready for spring training number 2.
That's good to hear. And obviously, we're very happy that we did get a season, but one thing that we were missing from the past baseball season was the lack of fans in the crowd. So I just kind of want to ask you, what was that like playing in front of empty ballparks? Was it harder to like kind of have adrenaline and build up energy for games?
I think it was harder for position players to have adrenaline and be ready for the, their at-bats and stuff like that. I think they kind of have to, they're playing and they're locked in for 4 hours and they got to ride that emotion, of being out in the outfield. And then all of a sudden, I got to get some adrenaline going because I'm about to face a guy throwing 95 plus. As a bullpen pitcher, the minute that phone rings, my heart starts going and I got adrenaline going. So, it wasn't an effect so much on me, but I think more on position players. It definitely would have a bigger impact.
Yeah, I can only imagine what it's like getting that call and then like running out the distance it is from most bullpens, which is like a long way to the pitcher's mound. So that definitely could build up some adrenaline. I also wanted to kind of ask you, we also wanted to ask some rapid fire questions. And we'll get into more of the 60-game season and other things later and about the NLCS and everything. But before we get into that, I kind of wanted to ask you some rapid fire questions. So my first one will be, who was the hardest hitter you've ever faced in your major league career?
So the guy I struggle with the most is probably Trey Turner. I mean, the guy's got great eye-hand coordination, and then my stuff just doesn't line up well against him. He just sees me well and seems to hit me well, and he waits a lot of my pitches. It's hard for me to strike him out. It's hard for me to get him out, and he's a good player. So that's the guy I struggle with the most.
All right, yeah. So another question we have is, I know we've seen Atlanta Braves. Do you have like a funniest teammate or even like a funniest moment you have with one of your teammates on the Braves?
Man, I think the guy that keeps us the lightest mood in the bullpen would probably be Luke Jackson. That guy's he's a riot out there. He's just a goofy dude. Just his antics, just the way he is the way, he just keeps it a light mood. And I think it rubs off on guys and we're going into stressful situations, but, he keeps it kind of loose.
In the bullpen, I know there's a lot of probably waiting around, waiting to get called in. And sometimes you might not even pitch a certain game. Is there a lot of, are there any mini games out there? What do you guys do to pass the time in the bullpen sometimes?
Oh man, we talk about a whole bunch of things. We do riddles, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I feel like guys just bring topics every day that just something random we start talking about, and then we go off on tangents all over the place. And then the minute that phone rings, we get locked in and we're getting to work.
Yeah.
Another question I had was, what was the worst home run you've ever given up? The one that kind of stings the most to you?
No, the worst home run I ever gave up. So the longest home run I ever gave up. So I'll probably go with that one. It was I forget his first name, but it's Soler back when I was starting with the Rockies.
Jorge?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And I threw a back foot slider that didn't get back foot, and he hit it on the top of the brick building in San Diego. Way out in left field, all the way up on the top of that thing. And it was not a good pitch, and he made me pay for it.
The ball flies in San Diego, so that's all right.
Yeah, but it wasn't even at elevation. I mean, that field's at sea level, and that ball was crushed. So sometimes you just got to tip your cap to the position player, and just be like, all right, man, you got me. Good job.
Speaking of ballparks, what is your favorite ballpark outside of Truist Park or any other parks you pitched in as the home team you played in?
Oh man, I playing in Fenway was pretty sweet. Just the history of being there. We didn't get the full experience because of COVID, so we didn't. I wasn't able to go into the wall or anything like that. But just being on the same field as all the great names that have been on that field before was just an honor and a treat.
Yeah, for sure. It's like a final kind of rapid fire. What was some more positive one? What was your favorite or best like strikeout you ever had?
Favorite or best strikeout? Probably in the playoffs this year when I struck out Muncy with the bases loaded. I think that was probably the best one. I kind of put myself into a pickle, a little bit of a jam there, but I was able to get myself out of it with that strikeout. That was probably my favorite one.
I remember that vividly watching it. You were fired up after that strikeout. I remember seeing you on TV. That was good.
Yeah.
So to move on here, we just mentioned the NLCS. What is the difference between? And obviously, I know there were limited fans there, but there were still some fans. So what is the difference between playing in the playoffs versus playing in the regular season? Sort of the atmosphere.
I think just everybody is so focused and so locked in that you get the best out of every single player on the field. You're not, guys aren't making dumb mistakes. They're so locked in. They're so in the moment that you're getting baseball in its truest form. And, you're going out there, they're locked in, you're locked in, and it's the game in its purest form and how it's supposed to be played.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so just kind of moving on. We have a lot of young fans. Honestly, we see you on the field usually like during night games. Can you just kind of go over, I see you're like a bullpen arm. What's like your daily kind of routine to like get ready for a game? And how might that be different? Let's say you pitched like days before versus you didn't pitch in previous days. How does that change?
Yeah, so I do everything the same every day, no matter what, whether I pitch the day before or not. I'll only lift after a game if I pitch. That's the only thing that's different. But I'll get to the ballpark 6 hours, 7 hours before the game. I'll roll out for an hour, which is basically just me stretching, doing some soft tissue work, doing stuff to get my body ready, kind of like active recovery stuff. And then go out, do our stretch, play catch, might throw a couple pitches off the mound, shag BP, come in, shower, get ready for the game, and go out there. And once I'm out there, I do a little bit of weighted balls in the bullpen just to get the arm loose and ready. And, just trust my stuff. Phone call rings and I'm in there and I get after it.
Yeah, and speaking of the Braves in particular, obviously you played my favorite team a lot, the New York Mets, and I wanted to ask you, are you friendly with any other teams, any other players in different teams within the NL East or any team, honestly?
Yeah, I mean, I know a handful of guys just from coming up to the minors and playing some high school ball and stuff like that in Southern California. There's a lot of teammates that are in the league, or not teammates, but just like guys that are in SoCal area that you know of. Mariznik was supposed to be my college roommate when I was going up to Oregon. We both signed in 2009, so we weren't able to live together. But obviously, I've talked to him, played against him, played with him, growing up and stuff like that. So, I'm just dropping the Mariznik because he was on the Mets last year. I'm not even sure if he's still there this year. Yeah, I mean, you run into guys that, you're in the game for 10 plus years, like I have, I think 11 years now, including the minor leagues. You get to know guys, and they start going all over the place in a whole bunch of different teams.
Yeah, so we have a lot of young viewers on, and they always kind of ask us, like, what advice would you give to them, like as a young, maybe, high school or college ball player? What advice would you give them if they're pursuing a career in baseball?
Two things. One, work on your mental game. That's what really helped me a lot. Try and do things that will help you to mentally succeed. And for me, it was, I read a couple books, do stuff like that, go find a mental skills coach. You can even look up just mental skills programs online on YouTube, stuff like that. But I think just becoming more mentally strong will help you in life and in baseball. And then number two is just what I was saying about that soft tissue stuff, man. When I started doing that, my body got so much better, so much more flexible. Velocity got a lot better. I was able to repeat my delivery a lot better. And I saw a big change with that on the physical side.
All right, so final question before we let you go. So it's Game 7. This is like kind of fun question. It's Game 7 of the World Series. It's like bases loaded, 2 outs. You got a 3-2 count on the hitter, and obviously it probably depends on batter by batter. But What's your go-to pitch in that situation?
I'm giving the heater. I'm challenging that hitter, and I'm saying, here, bro, you better hit it because I'm throwing it right down the middle, and it's up to you to make contact. So, yeah, I want to be in that situation. I want to be the aggressor. I don't want to be the defensive player. I'm an offensive player being a pitcher. You know, we're so often think of a pitcher as a defensive player, but in all honesty, the hitter has to react to me, and that's a defensive move. You know, just like a corner has to react to the wide receiver, the hitter has to react to the pitcher. So, you know, I want to have that aggressive mindset to you know, match my aggressive position.
Thank you so much, Tyler. We were just interviewing Tyler Matzek, currently of the Atlanta Braves. Tyler, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and good luck in the 2021 season.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.